It is possible to install grounding cable around the perimeter of concrete to attempt to eliminate stray voltage in a pool. However, it's important to do it properly, and it may not be fully effective. Firstly, it is necessary to determine the source of the stray voltage. This step may require the assistance of a professional electrician. Secondly, disconnect all electrical equipment connected to the pool. Thirdly, excavate a trench around the perimeter of the concrete. The trench should be at least 12 inches deep and 6 inches wide. Fourthly, place solid number 6 American wire gauge copper grounding cable in the trench. Use a grounding rod driver to drive 4-foot grounding rods every 10 feet along the cable. Fifthly, connect the grounding cable to all metal components of the pool, including the handrail. Sixthly, backfill the trench with the excavated dirt. Keep in mind that a bonding grid around the pool perimeter is still preferred. A bonding grid, which consists of a metal mesh or interconnected copper wires buried around the pool, is the most effective way to prevent stray voltage. While installing grounding cable around the concrete may help reduce stray voltage, it will not be as effective as a bonding grid. Stray voltage can travel through the soil, therefore, stray voltage can spread beyond the perimeter of the concrete, so it's possible that it may still be present in a pool water even with the grounding cable installed. Consider consulting with a qualified electrician to determine the best course of action for the specific situation. Consider installing a bonding grid around the pool perimeter, even if it requires removing some of the concrete. Test the pool water for stray voltage after completing the grounding cable installation to ensure it has been effective. It's important to take safety precautions when working with electricity. If you are not comfortable performing this work, it is recommended to hire a qualified electrician. When dealing with stray voltage in a pool, understanding grounding and bonding principles is crucial. Grounding provides a path for fault current to return to the source, tripping a circuit breaker or fuse and energizing the circuit. Bonding, on the other hand, connects all metallic parts of the pool structure and equipment together, creating an equipotential plane. This minimizes voltage differences, which can cause electric shock. The National Electrical Code, or NEC, provides specific requirements for grounding and bonding of swimming pools in Article 680. It's essential to adhere to these requirements to ensure safety. The bonding grid typically consists of number 8 American wire gauge solid copper conductor, and it must be connected to all metal parts of the pool structure, including the reinforcing steel in the concrete shell, the pool equipment, and any metal fittings. The grounding electrode system for a pool typically includes a ground rod, a ground ring, or a combination of both. The grounding electrode conductor, which connects the equipment grounding conductors to the grounding electrode, must be sized according to NEC Table 250.66, based on the size of the ungrounded conductors. When installing grounding cable around the perimeter of the concrete, it's important to ensure that the cable is in direct contact with the earth. This provides a low impedance path for fault current. The grounding rod should be driven deep enough to reach moist soil, typically at least 8 feet. The connections between the grounding cable, the grounding rods, and the metal components of the pool must be made with approved connectors and methods. These connections should be mechanically strong and electrically conductive. When testing for stray voltage, use a digital multimeter to measure the voltage between the pool water and the known ground, such as a metal stake driven into the earth some distance from the pool. A voltage reading of more than a few millivolts indicates a potential stray voltage problem. If stray voltage is detected, it's important to systematically isolate and eliminate the source. This may involve disconnecting electrical equipment one at a time and retesting the voltage. Common sources of stray voltage include faulty wiring, damaged equipment, and ground faults in nearby electrical systems. In addition to grounding and bonding, other safety measures can help prevent electric shock hazards in swimming pools. These include installing ground fault circuit interrupters, or GFCIs, on all electrical circuits serving the pool equipment, using low voltage lighting, and maintaining proper clearances between electrical equipment and the pool water. Ground fault circuit interrupters, or GFCIs, are devices that detect ground faults and quickly interrupt the circuit, preventing electric shock. They are required by the NEC for all outlets within a certain distance of the pool. Low voltage lighting reduces the risk of electric shock because the voltage is too low to cause serious injury. The NEC specifies minimum clearances between electrical equipment and the pool water to prevent accidental contact. It's important to follow these clearances when installing electrical equipment near a pool. Regular maintenance of the pool's electrical system is essential to ensure safety. This includes inspecting the wiring, equipment, and connections for damage or corrosion, and testing the ground fault circuit interrupters, or GFCIs, to ensure they are working properly. If any problems are found, they should be repaired immediately by a qualified electrician. When working on or near electrical equipment, always follow safe work practices. These include wearing appropriate personal protective equipment such as rubber gloves and safety glasses, de-energizing circuits before working on them, and using lockout-tagout procedures to prevent accidental energization. It is also important to be aware of the potential hazards of underground utilities when excavating near a pool. Before digging, contact the local utility companies to locate any underground lines. In summary, installing grounding cable around the perimeter of concrete can be a helpful step in addressing stray voltage in a pool, but it's not a substitute for a proper bonding grid. It's important to follow the NEC requirements for grounding and bonding, consult with a qualified electrician, and take appropriate safety precautions. Regular maintenance and testing of the pool's electrical system are also essential to ensure safety. Also remember to always test the pool water for stray voltage after completing the grounding cable installation to ensure it has been effective. Furthermore, consider installing a bonding grid around the pool perimeter, even if it requires removing some of the concrete, and determine the source of the stray voltage. This may require a professional electrician. There are limitations to understand. A bonding grid around the pool perimeter is still preferred because a bonding grid, which consists of a metal mesh or interconnected copper wires buried around the pool, is the most effective way to prevent stray voltage. Concrete is not a good conductor, hence, while installing grounding cable around the concrete may help reduce stray voltage, it will not be as effective as a bonding grid. Stray voltage can travel through the soil, so it's possible that it may still be present in the pool water even with the grounding cable installed. It's important to take safety precautions when working with electricity. If unsure, hire a qualified electrician. It's important to note that the effectiveness of installing grounding cable around the concrete perimeter can vary depending on several factors, including the soil conditions, the distance to the source of the stray voltage, and the quality of the installation. In some cases, it may be necessary to take additional measures to eliminate the stray voltage, such as installing a dedicated grounding electrode system or replacing faulty electrical equipment. A dedicated grounding electrode system consists of one or more ground rods or ground plates installed specifically for the purpose of grounding the pool's electrical system. This can provide a more effective ground path than relying on the building's grounding system. Replacing faulty electrical equipment can eliminate a source of stray voltage. This may involve replacing the pool pump motor, the underwater lighting fixture, or other electrical components. When troubleshooting stray voltage problems, it's helpful to use a systematic approach. This involves starting with the most likely causes and working through the possible causes one by one until the source of the stray voltage is identified. One technique is to use a clamp-on ammeter to measure the current flowing through the grounding conductors. This can help identify ground faults or other electrical problems. Another technique is to use a voltage meter to measure the voltage between different points in the pool's electrical system. This can help pinpoint the location of the stray voltage source. It's also important to consider the possibility of stray voltage from external sources, such as nearby power lines or underground cables. In these cases, it may be necessary to contact the utility company to investigate the problem. The NEC provides specific requirements for dealing with stray voltage from external sources. These requirements are designed to protect people from electric shock hazards. In addition to the technical aspects of grounding and bonding, it's also important to consider the human factors. People should be educated about the dangers of electricity and the importance of following safety precautions. Warning signs should be posted near the pool to remind people of the potential hazards. Children should be supervised closely when they are near the pool. It's also important to have a plan in place in case of an electrical emergency. This plan should include instructions on how to shut off the power to the pool and how to provide first aid to someone who has been electrocuted. In summary, dealing with stray voltage in a pool requires a comprehensive approach that includes proper grounding and bonding, regular maintenance, and attention to safety. By following the NEC requirements and taking appropriate precautions, it's possible to create a safe and enjoyable swimming environment. When installing the grounding cable, ensure it is buried deep enough to be in contact with moist soil, ideally below the frost line. This ensures a more consistent and effective grounding path, regardless of weather conditions. When connecting the grounding cable to metal components, use corrosion-resistant connectors that are specifically designed for direct burial applications. This prevents corrosion and ensures a reliable electrical connection over time. Consider using exothermic welding, also known as a CAD weld, for making connections between the grounding cable and the grounding rods. Exothermic welding creates a permanent, molecular bond that is highly resistant to corrosion and provides a superior electrical connection compared to mechanical connectors. When selecting grounding rods, choose rods that are made of copper-clad steel. Copper-clad steel rods provide good conductivity and corrosion resistance, and they are strong enough to be driven into the ground without bending or breaking. When driving the grounding rods, use a ground rod driver that is specifically designed for this purpose. A ground rod driver will make the job easier and more efficient, and it will help prevent damage to the grounding rods. When backfilling the trench, use clean fill material that is free of rocks and debris. This will help protect the grounding cable from damage and ensure good contact with the soil. After completing the installation, use a ground resistance tester to measure the resistance of the grounding system. A low resistance reading indicates a good ground connection. If the resistance reading is too high, it may be necessary to add additional grounding rods or improve the connections. Regularly inspect the grounding system for signs of damage or corrosion. If any problems are found, they should be repaired immediately by a qualified electrician. Consider installing a surge protector in the electrical circuit that serves the pool equipment. A surge protector will help protect the equipment from damage caused by power surges and lightning strikes. Educate pool users about the importance of not using electrical devices near the pool. This includes radios, televisions, and other electronic equipment. Install ground fault circuit interrupters, or GFCIs, on all electrical circuits that serve the pool equipment. Ground fault circuit interrupters, or GFCIs, are designed to protect people from electric shock by quickly shutting off the power to a circuit if a ground fault is detected. Test the ground fault circuit interrupters, or GFCIs, regularly to ensure they are working properly. The ground fault circuit interrupters, or GFCIs, should be tested at least once a month. Have a qualified electrician inspect the pool's electrical system at least once a year. A qualified electrician can identify potential problems and make repairs before they become serious. By following these recommendations, you can help ensure the safety of your swimming pool and protect people from electric shock hazards.